Getting started here, one of the first things I'm about to do is using the reciprocating saw with the Diablo carbide blade. I'm actually cutting off the bump stops on both sides. And let me tell you, they've been on there for some time, so they're a little bit challenging. But little by little, just keep on working it, getting that blade in there. And the Diablo carbide blade is really nice to work with. Highly recommend it. I'll have that information in the description below. We are working on airbags for a 2005 F350 dually. And the first step was to remove the shock buffers, we'll call it. And then, as you could see that with the last short video, next was to remove the brackets. They were right there. Undo those. I took my time. It's advisable if you have a vehicle that's been sitting for some time to put a little bit of WD-40 or PB Blaster as you're removing the hardware, to go slow. Do it by hand to minimize the potential for it to snap or break, and then maybe also screw it back in to maximize the ability for you to take it out. The other thing that they suggest is the hardware for this. All your lines on this side, which were attached out here, I'll get those out of the way, and that's kind of next up. So what I've done here so far, this is pretty much where we're going with things. These are the hoses that they suggested, and they also do tell you to jack it up, put jacks under your axle. Yeah, there you go. But this is the full plan. Now, this is something I've never done before, so I'm kind of new to this specifically. And one thing I have taken the time to do is basically just lay out the hardware per side to minimize and also help me see what I need to see as this build continues. So alrighty, so it was late. We got the airbags all finished and installed pretty well. Basically, a pull plate on this side comes across right here. Then there's a pull plate that goes down to the axle right there. Pretty straightforward. And then your hardware, which attaches up to the top. And what's really neat with these airbags is basically when you have a load either in the back of the vehicle, the pickup, or if you're towing something, this airbag is like a balloon. It can be raised with air, then they increase the allowing the truck, for better words, basically to be level. And so it allows you to adjust your suspension while you're driving with a load in accordance to what you really need. So pretty straightforward. On the top here is where the air will go in. This will have an onboard air compressor, which allows you to adjust the pressure, raise it or lower it as you're depending on what you're hauling or what you're doing with it. So Jason takes a moment to machine out some nice sleeves for the Fox shock so they'll fit nice and snug. This is the little bracket here for the air compressor for the airbags. Sit right in there. So in closing, I just wanted to let everyone know the reasons for going with the airbags. Now, this truck is a work truck. We're hauling either work equipment, horses in the horse trailer, or material. So it's really critical to be able to adjust that on the fly when there's weight on the rear hitch itself. So that's really key. The airbags are also, with the kits, they're very affordable, fairly straightforward to install for the most part, depending on your vehicle. And we did have our mechanic help us with the electrical portions of this. Wasn't something that I felt totally comfortable with. And then we also added the 2.0 Fox shocks, which also just a very simple suspension upgrade, which makes a world of difference. You know, that money that we saved to do those things will allow us to continue to focus on the truck build, which is really right now far more important. You know, we can always change the suspension later, but it just gives us those simple upgrades while everything was off and we were in there. And eventually we'll do something with the front, but very pleased with it. The kit itself picked up on eBay, and it was really pretty straightforward. The directions were probably about 98% correct. There's a few things that kind of threw me off, a few things that I had to go back and change. And I still have a small air leak, which I can't quite pinpoint yet, but I think it might be from the airbags themselves. I did not do like a plumber's tape, a white plumber's tape around those inserts. So I'm going to pull the bed back off, try to definitely do the taping and see if that solves it, or if it's just in one of the lines. But all in all, very pleased, and it's a great way to go to be able to adjust on the fly. So thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next video.